Hello students, welcome for the new PowerPoint presentation. We are dealing with the fourth unit, social movements and their political implications. And today's topic is feminist movement, and this is second part. In the second part we will see the political implications which have been introduced by the government legally and constitutionally. What are the precautions or implementation taken by the government? So let's see about the political implications of the feminist movement. First point, that is the constitutional provisions. So what kind of rights or provisions have been mentioned in our constitution? So article number 14, 15, article number 15, third clause, article number 16, article number 34 and article number 42. These all articles provide for the removal of the inequality and discrimination based on the gender. Yes, male and female, men and women. This is a very huge gap in the society. Students, you might have observed in your family, the woman used to remain in the family and she used to work like one of servant. She is treated very innocently. She is to remain very shy, whereas she is not allowed out from the home for longer time. But if the same thing is done by the male or the boys, no questions will be raised to their behavior. But definitely the questions will be raised for the girls or women's behavior. So for this inequality and discrimination, these all article numbers or all articles eradicates that inequality. What are the legislative measures have been taken to eradicate this feminist movement? In the society we've seen that number of the problems women are facing like rape, dowry deaths, child marriages, and number of the torturements are there. It may be physically, mentally, sexually. So for that, whatever legislative has given some of the measures. For the rape, IPC, that is Indian Penal Code, as per the section number 376, the person will get the custody. Then torture for the dowry, IPC section number 498. As per that also custody penalty is there. Family Court Act, that was introduced in 1954, whereas Special Marriage Act was introduced in 1954. Dowry Prohibition Act, which was introduced in 1961, which is very important, which gives more empowerment to the women. A woman can go to the court against the person who is asking for the dowry. It may be in the form of money or it may be in the form of things. And Abolition of Child Marriage Act, which was introduced in 2006. A person, male or female, getting married before the 18 and 21 may get the custody and their parents also. So these are the all legislative measures which gives the empowerment to the women. Now give the more powers to the woman compared to the male. Our constitution provided some of the reservations for the women in our local bodies. So local bodies is nothing but the Panchayat Raj, which has the three tiers: Gram Panchayat, Taluka Panchayat and Jilla Panchayat. Students, last year you have studied this in a whole chapter. So as per the article number 70, through the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment, that 33% seats are reserved for the women in the local self-government. That is Gram Panchayat, Taluka Panchayat and Jilla Panchayat. Wherever there are the elections, so 33% seats are reserved only for the women, which gives the chance to them to get elected and get participate into the local administration and to solve their own problems by their own ways. Fourth point, special privileges for women. Now, after giving 33% reserve seats in local self government, some special privileges, more things have been provided to the women. So, what are those? A National Women Commission, which was established in 1992 with a view to analyze the legal programs and to go into the details of the constitutional provisions and make necessary recommendation to the government for the future improvement in that regards. National Women Commission, whatever the woman is facing a problem, she can go with that all the legal things with this National Women's Commission. She can solve her problem. Even it is a government's duty to look after the problems of the women's. And fifth point, few policies have been introduced by the government for the women's empowerment. The Department of Women and Child Welfare under the Secretariat of Ministry of Human Resource Department framed a national policy for the women empowerment. Now, what are the programs and plans have been introduced by this MHRD, Ministry of Human Resource Department? So, one, that is Indira Awas Yojana, which was introduced in 1999, Suvarna Jayanti Gram Swaraj Yojana, which was introduced in 1999, as well as Jawahar Gram Samruddhi Yojana, introduced in 1997. As per this, all the schemes, woman will become the self-reliant. She no need to depend on the male. As per the Indira Awas Yojana, she will get her own home. She no need to depend on her husband. As per the Suvarna Jayanti Gram Swaraj Yojana, that also makes the woman financially empowered. Even Jawahar Gram Samruddhi Yojana also gives more power to the women compared to the men's. National Action Plan for Girl Child. To provide safe, bright and strong future for girls, this program was implemented by the national government. Number of the girls while walking to the school and colleges, they are facing a lots of problem in the society. So to keep them safe, feel them secure, and they can enjoy their educational right and get participate into the administration. So these kind of some of action plans were introduced to the girl child. Few plans which have been introduced by our Karnataka government. So which are those plans introduced by the Karnataka government? So that is Udyogini Yojana, where the woman will get the self-help groups, and by that self-help groups, women can start their own business, small business. Mahila Tarbati Yojana, where the technical support is provided to the women. For example, making soaps, making washing powder, and number of the small businesses are there, which are called as a small scale industries, even which comes in the cottage industries also. Rehabilitation program of Devdasi. Yeah, the major problem for the Devdasis. For that also program introduced by the Karnataka government. Stri Shakti Yojana, which makes them financially fit. Amruta Yojana, then Bhagyalakshmi Yojana. Bhagyalakshmi Yojana, if a parent gets the girl baby, so for her registration after the birth, a government is going to deposit near about 1.5 lakh, 1,50,000 as she grown up by the 18 age, and as per her sign she will get the 1.5 lakh after 18 age. And this plan or this program only for the girl baby, that is Bhagyalakshmi Yojana. So these are the different yojana or plans introduced by the Karnataka government. So these are the all political implications have been introduced by the Indian government to give the empowerment to the women. Thank you, students.